Guess what? We're about to sing. Here we go. Every little angel, are you ready?
Long ago in Bethlehem there was a special star, shining brightly in the east. It guided men from afar toward a stable dark and cold, where Mary and Joseph lay. She gave birth to a little boy and laid him in the hay. Every little angel saw the light of the little baby born that night. In the King of Kings they took delight. Every little angel sang that night. Men were traveling from the east with gifts for the little child. There were also shepherds there to see the baby smile. Mary heard the angel say, Jesus is his name, for he is a special boy, no other's quite the same.
It was raining so hard last night and this morning that I was really worried, is anybody even going to show up? And then I remembered that this was an indoor event, and which helps. Do you ever worry about stuff that you really shouldn't worry about? You spend all that time worrying about it, and you get there, and it's just awesome anyway. And the kids all sang beautifully, and it made everything just amazing. So thank you, children, so much. I have a few quick announcements for you before we continue with the rest of our service. The first announcement is if you will please pass the attendance pads. This keeps me out of trouble with Lamar Smith. And if you look inside your attendance pads, you should see an announcement for, at least in some of them, for Welcome Christmas, which is happening tonight. It's another indoor event, mostly. It's going to start in here at 5:30 with the kids singing what you've just heard, plus a couple of other songs, some group carol sing-alongs. Then after that, there is a meal. So parents, you don't have to cook tonight. Just bring them to the church. It's all provided. It's free. There's going to be flip books. Santa Claus is going to be here. We do have carriage rides provided because I'm very optimistic, if maybe a tad foolish. But if for some reason the weather's so bad that we can't have any carriage rides, Bill Holloway has graciously agreed to give piggyback rides throughout Wesley Hall. So that's going to be a long line. You're going to want to get here early for that. So it starts at 5:30 in here with our children's choir and junior worship leaders in concert. The giving tree. Apparently we have nearly 400 children that we still need to sponsor for the giving tree. This church has never not met its goal of having gifts for every child at TA Sims, and I know this year's not going to be any different. There's an announcement of that in your bulletin about where you can go to get information on that. It's a wonderful thing to do. It makes you feel good. It makes everybody feel good. Speaking of giving, and this is my final announcement, our children up on the second floor have a mission that they work on mission projects every week. They spent the entire month of November creating a mission shop, doing all kinds of crafts, everything from homemade Christmas cards to those little cappers, the bottle caps that have the stuff inside that you can magnetize for necklaces. Everything is for $1 each. And the reason we have it set that way is so that kids can go with their own money if they want to get a present for mom or dad or a friend or sibling for the holidays. They can do that. And it's going to be open next 2 Sundays. So that'd be December the 11th and the 18th from 10:20 to 12:15. So if you want to come up and get a little bit of holiday shopping, all of that money that they raise is going to go directly to our mission to support the Room in the Inn project, which is a wonderful thing, and it's a wonderful thing our kids are doing. Those are our announcements for today. And now, the Bible story. We have a memory verse. Ironic, I forgot the Bible memory verse, isn't it? That is a definition of irony. All right, now here's what we're going to do. Kiddos, you remember what to do when I do like this? What do you all do? All right, let's see if you're watching carefully. That's pretty good. That's a rainy day stand-up, isn't it? Let's try that again. All right, now let's shake out a little bit. Shake out. All right, let's do a little bit of rowing. All right, let's throw our heads side to side. Now here is our Bible verse for today. It's our memory verse. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. And we're going to clap lightly while we do it. Who thinks they can do it? You can do it? All right, here we go. Ready? And. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. Now that's pretty good news. I think we need kind of a percussive punctuator at the end of that. So why don't we do this? For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. All right? But not a mad a happy All right, here we go. Ready? And. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. Oh, that's good. I like that. All right, let's do it a little bit softer. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. A little bit. Well, that was really loud still. All right, let's try it even softer. Ready? And. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. Now let's do it really loud. And. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given. Now let's do it just using the body percussion and thinking it. Ready? And go. Excellent. Stomp some applause to yourselves. Give yourself a foot of applause. Watch my hands. And now, the Bible story.
The world was watching and waiting for any signs of hope, waiting for the one the prophets had told about, the one who would change the world. There was watching in heaven, too. The angels knew the time had almost come. One of them would be chosen. Small one, yes. I have a special job for you. My children have felt lost and alone for a long time. I need for you to go to them and bring them good news. I do. I choose you, small one.
But what if I get nervous? I've never done anything like this before.
Small one, do you believe in me?
Of course I do. Completely.
Well, I believe in you.
Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you, small one.
Where would you like me to go first?
I want you to go to the small town of Bethlehem. In the fields nearby, you'll find shepherds tending their sheep.
You want the shepherds to be the first to hear the good news?
The good news isn't just for kings and queens. It's for everyone.
Oh, I like that.
I thought you would. Small one, it's time.
Okay. I'll do my best.
I know you will. There were shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock at night. And lo, an angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were very afraid. And the angel said to them,
Fear not. Fear not. For behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find the child wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger.
and suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying,
Our opening prayer today is a call and response prayer. I will say the first part, and you respond by saying, "That's good news." You will notice there's an exclamation point after your part. We live in God's world. That's good news. We live in a world with hope. That's good news. We live in a world with love. That's good news. We live in a world where a baby born in a lowly manger can be a savior for one and all. That's good news. Amen. You may be seated. How many of you think you know what our theme for the day is? How many of you have a good idea? If you have a good idea, make reindeer antlers. If you have a good idea, make a Santa beard. That looks a little more like Abraham Lincoln, but okay. All right. Well, Valerie and Vanessa are going to help us with our theme for today. Valerie, Vanessa, would you come out and help us? Come stand right here. And we have to do this with a drum roll. So let's get a good drum roll with our laps going. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. And our theme is... Good news. How many of you thought it was good news? Yeah, you know what? Let's try that again. And I've got an idea. Why don't y'all do it together? Yeah? Let's see what happens. Let's try one more time. Big drum roll. Good news. Good news. Let's all say it together. Good news. Thank you, girls. That was perfect. Our friend Kale over here on the other side is going to show us what our sign language sign for good news is. Kale? Let's all practice that together. Kale, show us again. Good news. Everybody turn to a neighbor and say, "Neighbor." Say, "Neighbor, you're here." That's good news. Turn to another neighbor. Say, "Neighbor, you're here." That's good news. All right. Hey, Rusty.
How are you guys?
Good.
Well, with that being established, I bet we have some great good news stories. If my helpers were come down here, Caroline and Tatum. Let's all welcome Caroline and Tatum. Say hi. I was talking to them before the service, and they had some great good news stories to tell me. And we're going to start with Caroline, so I'm going to slip over here. Caroline, do you have some really good news that you received recently? What is it?
My grandpa was at the hospital and he's coming back.
Her grandpa was at the hospital and she's coming home. That is awesome news. Is he doing much better now?
Yes.
That is great. He's going to come home, so he'll be home for Christmas?
Yes.
He will. That's awesome. And you said you were going to do something really sweet for him when he got home. What are you going to do?
Paint him a picture.
She's going to paint him a picture. Isn't that great news? That is really good news, Caroline. And Tatum, do you have some good news to share with us?
Yes.
What is your good news?
That I'm getting a new baby cousin.
She herself, just for her, is getting a new baby cousin. When is that baby cousin coming?
March.
March is when it's coming. Isn't that exciting? Now, is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
She's getting a new girl baby cousin. Are you going to get to see her right away?
No.
No. Where is she going to live when she's born?
Houston.
So you have to go to Houston to see your new baby cousin. Isn't that exciting? That is really good news. Now I'm going to talk to my third helper, who I'm kind of throwing right now. Mark, we usually have 3 helpers. Let me see. Maybe they're in the program. Let's see. Our part of the storytellers. Caroline is here. Tatum is here. It says SC. SC. That could be Samuel Clemens. Samuel? I think he goes by a different name. He's probably not here. Senor Coconut. Senor No. Who is SC? Does anyone know who SC is? Whoa. Santa Claus? Wait a minute. I have an issue with this. I have read the stories in the Bible about Jesus' birth, and there are shepherds, and there are angels, and camels, and wise men, but there is no Santa Claus. So how do you Senor Santa Claus, fit into our worship service today?
Well, I bring good news. I bring two things of good news today. Santa Claus is all about benevolence, you know that. But the first thing is that Dancer and Prancer lately have been not getting along. And they've been causing Mrs. Claus and I a lot of problems. So at this time of the year, that's not a good thing, because Mr. and Mrs. Claus are very, very busy. So if you're not getting along with your brothers and sisters, you need to do your best. Brings presents for all the good little boys and girls all over the world. And he never gets any presents in return. Santa always gives. So this holiday season, the good news I want you to do is do something good for someone without expecting anything in return.
Santa, that is great news, and we appreciate your appearance today. We know how busy your schedule is. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our helpers. And let's send Santa Claus back to the North Pole. Thank you, Santa. Thank you, ladies. Mark?
Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm happy to have the little bundle sleep in my manger, but I am getting a little hungry.
If I had a manger, I'd let the baby sleep there. Then you could eat from your manger, cow.
Oh, Mouse, that's very sweet, but you're way too small to have a manger.
I know. But you gave the baby your manger, and Donkey brought the family all the way here. I only wish I could lend a hand somehow.
Yes, Mouse, but you're just...
too small. I know.
Poor little fella. If only the rest of his body was as big as his heart.
So true.
And just about that time, sheep came by.
What's so funny?
Okay, I'm out in the field, grazing, making baa sounds, you know, sheep stuff. And this angel of the Lord shows up. Now me and my pal Fluffy, we like angels fine. But the shepherds, they're so scared, they start shaking in their sandals like their legs were made of spaghetti.
Seriously?
So the angel said, "Be not afraid." And the shepherds froze. Then the angel said that a baby was born and would be right here in the stable.
So that's what brought you and the shepherds here?
Hardly. Those scaredy shepherds wouldn't budge an inch. So me and Fluffy, we sneak up right behind them and go, "Ooga booga booga!" You never seen shepherds run so fast. In fact, they actually left us there in the field.
Some shepherds, seriously.
I know, right? So I decided I'd follow them, see what all the excitement was about.
Well, how about that for some excitement?
Wow, that little guy's got some lungs, huh?
Human babies are very cute, but
They sure are loud.
It's gonna be a long night.
Hey guys, do you hear that? The poor baby is crying. Can't we do something for him?
Well, I've already given up my manger for his bed.
And I'm pretty worn out from the journey here.
Well, maybe I can do something.
Who's the little guy?
I'm Mouse. I live here in the stable.
Nice to meet you, Mouse. No offense, but you're a little on the small side. What do you think you can do for the kid?
I don't know. What can I give him, small as I am? I would bring him a shepherd if I was a lamb. If I was a donkey, I would do my part. I know what I'll give him. I'll give him my heart.
Hey, where's he?
He's climbing right up on the manger.
Mouse, get down from there before someone sees you.
Mouse was too small to have a manger of his own, or chase shepherds, or bring a family on a long journey. So he did the only thing he could think of to soothe the child.
Silent night, holy night.
He's singing to the baby.
All is calm, all is bright.
Listen, it's working.
Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
When Mouse had finished, the baby was sound asleep. The whole stable felt quiet and peaceful.
Well done, Mouse.
Yeah, way to go, little man. We should have given you more credit.
Thanks, guys. I only did what I could.
You did great.
The smallest creature among them gave all he could. He gave from his heart, and it was just right.
When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about the child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as had been told them.
The angels bring the good news, and then the shepherds do more than just that. They hear the good news, they act upon the good news, and they share the good news. We read plenty in the newspapers that's bad, right? We hear plenty on the radios that's bad. We see plenty of bad news on TV. And maybe it makes us think that that's really the way the world is, full of bad news. Here's what I want us to do right now. Turn to your neighbor, and I want you to share some good news in your life with your neighbor right now, and then extend your neighbor the courtesy of listening to some good news that they share. Go ahead and do that. Spend a few seconds doing that right now. Do you hear that sound? That's God's music right there. This whole room just percolating and brewing with smiles, neighbors who don't want to stop visiting and sharing good news and hearing good news. So for the rest of this season, when it starts feeling more frantic and we start hearing that bad news and thinking that that's the way God's world really is, remember that sound. Remember that sound. That is God's music. That is you. And that is good news. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. congregation you are. We needed 2 offertories today. Wow. Let us join together in our prayer over the gifts led by Maddie Beth. What can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what I can, I give him. Give my heart. Amen. Before our closing hymn, this is also our hymn of invitation. If you would like to join our church this morning during a Children First service, you would be breaking ground. You'd be the first person to do that. That'd be very brave. But we welcome you to join if you would like. Just a couple more quick items. There's going to be a completely different service here in about 30 minutes. So any parents that can help get all of this, all the angels and drums and things, with the exception of the timpani, up to the children's area, that would be most helpful. Youth choir, you know what to do in terms of helping Mr. Taylor get all the orchestra stuff set up. The children in the choirs are going to have their snack in the science lab. They'll tell you where that is. All the non-choir kids are going to have their snack in the mission room. That's 208. And then at 11 o'clock, the choirs are going to be singing again with the huge festival. I hope you'll be able to be there for that. After the children's moment at 11 o'clock, we're going to dismiss the children's choir kids to come sit with you for the rest of that service. So make sure between now and then you have an idea, because we're not going to release a kid unless we know they're going to an adult. Did I get that right? And the balcony would be great. Welcome Christmas, 5:30 tonight. It starts in here. Also, kiddos, tonight is the first night to sign up for your Spring Academy classes. So make sure you're there to do that. With that, let us close with Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
May grace,
peace,
hope,
love,
joy,
and good news
forever accompany us. Amen.
Maybe see. Rest of your day. Anybody that can help so we can get the space ready for the 11 o'clock, let's do it. Thank you, guys.